Well, I am not gonna lie. This was pretty unexpected. I have absolutely no idea how we as a studio, we as in Disney of course, managed to gather around a bunch of blokes with the combined IQ of your average garden variety tomato in an office area to look at these numbers, this record breaking, mind shattering, and honestly primetime stat when it comes to the streaming game, the babysitting game, and basically just the entire game of at home entertainment, and make it mid. I mean, the first Moana being the #1 watched movie in almost a decade's time is not an easy feat, and it's definitely a solid accomplishment that you, the studio, the actors, the animators, the music team, and everybody involved with the entirety of this production should be able to hang their hat on. A genuine all time classic and beloved movie that will continue to entertain the whole family for years to come. So, what the heck just happened here? While it was relatively obvious that a sequel for Moana would eventually happen, even if it's a little late in terms of modern Hollywood's timetable for sequels these days, out of all of the problems or complaints that I have seen from the general audience and my mates surrounding this movie, from the visible downgrade of animation quality to the uninspired and lackluster soundtrack, or the newly created and overbearingly annoying side characters, all of which are complaints and grievances that I can agree or disagree with in some way, shape, or form. Especially when it came to that mind numbing Australian. I mean, she was Aquafina levels of brain rot. No offense, mates. But it's unfortunate because the longer and longer that Moana 2 goes on, you kind of realize after the 5 to 10 minute nap that I can almost guarantee every audience member will have or did have at any point during the course of this movie is that what is the point of this? Why is Moana 2 even being made in the first place? What is the point? What is the story? There's really no idea here. And because of that, Moana 2 is really just a jumbled mess of half-baked and mismanaged ideas that makes an incredibly brain-dead choice of not riding the coattails of Moana 1, aspects of what made this franchise so successful, which doesn't really make sense from a studio's or audience point of view, seeing how the most enjoyable parts of Moana 2 are those said aspects of Moana 1. Starting with Moana herself, who just continues to shine in this movie, adding on to her story, building her personal character journey, and still continuing to be one of the most enjoyable and refreshing animated characters to date. And her relationship with Maui, probably the most digestible role Dwayne the Bloke Johnson has been a part of in the last decade. But it's as if when it came to the mindset of how to move forward with this franchise, these characters, in this world, they just kind of gave the reins to a bloke who was just forced to watch the first Moana at 10 times speed, on mute, and asked to just recreate what they felt like they saw in one go. A movie that on the surface might look as if you managed to recreate that same magic, but even when dipping your toe in the water, you realize that all of the care, craft, charm, and imagination that made the original idea so special in the first place is nowhere to be seen. And while surely I'm not the only person that was unexpectedly disappointed with Moana 2, that's enough yapping for now. Let's talk. Moana 2 opens up the closed personal journey that we, the audience, watched Moana struggle with in her first movie. You know, remember the story of her actually having her once in a lifetime adventure, having pursued her dream, saving the ocean, and the friends that she made along the way? But at the end of her journey, embracing and taking up her natural born responsibilities of becoming a future chief of the village? Yeah, me neither. After becoming a wayfinder, the best damn wayfinder the ocean has ever seen, Moana strives to find more people across the sea in order to connect their tribes as their ancestors once dreamed of. But just like when it seems like all hope is lost as Moana returns home, another legend of the ancestors is thrust upon her shoulders as she's now asked to sail across the ocean once again. This time, as I mentioned before, with a bunch of new annoying side blokes, save the sunken island from a curse of a purple power weather god, and restore the water channels that connect the people of the ocean. But will a more mature, complex, and seasoned Moana have what it takes to overcome the exact same mental obstacles that she has faced before? Will Maui have anything meaningful to do in this movie, seeing how his personal character arc was also closed in the first movie? And most importantly, why the hell did this movie have an MCU mid-credit scene? For a movie that's only 90 minutes long, I mean your standard animated movie runtime, the pacing was an absolute drag because of the lack of direction and vision when it came to the narrative. If Disney actually took the time to watch their own source material before greenlighting new sequels, they would have realized that seeing how Moana 1 was pretty much a strictly character-driven story with closed-off character arcs in regards to our two main leads, Every new character motivation now is just going to feel like a contrivance. Every new journey, every new idea, every new motivation is now not only tasked with having to be an engaging story overall, but now having the additional hurdle of selling that said new journey, new idea, or new character motivations to the audience. And when you have a character and a journey that was so well crafted and exceptionally received as Moana 1, you now have a matrix problem, a problem of having to follow up and build onto your genuinely well lived in, engaging, inspiring, and vibrant world, characters, and ideas with an even more genuinely well lived in, engaging, inspiring, and vibrant world, characters, and ideas, when there was really nothing left over from the first self contained original story. Seeing how I am just the one who is extremely late to the party, I feel like I might as well just talk about the elephant in the room, or I guess just the rumors surrounding Moana 2. I'm not really even quite sure if this is a rumor that has been confirmed or not, and I am definitely not going to go down the rabbit hole of confirming it either. But the rumor of the idea of Moana 2, and I guess just the idea of the Moana franchise in general going forward after the success of the first movie, and apparently Disney deciding to go down the route of making a potential sequel into a streaming show, which obviously is one of the dumbest decisions that I've heard in quite some times when it comes to the follow up of a successful first movie, in a direction that we, the audience members, can't even give the studio the benefit of the doubt or hindsight, seeing how Disney was definitely aware and knew of the banger streaming numbers for Moana 1 that were going on behind closed doors compared to us, the audience. And the fact that it was just turned into a theatrical release due to the differing mindsets between the two blokes, I mean, the two Bobs, definitely checks out. And while there will always be that side of the audience, and even the studio that will always ask the questions or say, it's a kids' movie or it's an animated movie, it's for the kids, why are you taking it so seriously argument, I've always had to respectfully disagree with that. While sure there will always be movies or TV shows that are just strictly for kids, I will forever and always be of the mindset that the majority of animated movies are for families. Kids cannot buy movie tickets. And that has been and will always be the successful formula and outlook on how to make a successful animated project, including the first Moana. And sure, while there are aspects of Moana 2 that I did enjoy, like the solid visual eye candy that the Disney animated B team was able to supply, unfortunately, when you look at the grander picture, Disney really missed the mark on this one. And while I'm not a bloke myself in saying that Disney missed the mark financially, because that is obviously not the case, and Disney will definitely be announcing in Moana 3 any time now to make this franchise into an animated trilogy, Moana 2 just really showcased and brought out to the forefront the lack of creativity Hollywood era that we find ourselves in right now. And that's a shame. So, in our 2024 Hollywood filler arc, in what is probably the most unexpected and will probably be the most unexpected ranking of the year, even with like 5 to 6 more entries to go, Moana 2 is mid, and unfortunately a movie that failed to recapture the magic from the OG movie, and honestly just felt like a cash grab like The Incredibles 2 or Kung Fu Panda 4 compared to the recaptured magic of Shrek 2, Cars 2, or even Inside Out 2 earlier this year that I imagine the studio was going for. But the way that this box office is looking, we will be back in this world with these characters in no time. Hopefully, without that Australian wanker. Of course, as always, I want to thank you guys for watching the video, and if you enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I'll leave a link to my Twitter and Letterboxd in the description just in case you want to go check that out. Again, I want to thank you for watching the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you did enjoy, why not click on more while you're at it? Otherwise, that is all the words I got for you today. Bye.